For the ones of you that have not been to the Sperling Estates, I want to give you a quick tour around the property. Coming out of our front door is what you get met with a waterfall designed a few years ago by my lovely wife Wendy. And we move over to the garage. From the garage, about 3 years ago, we put in another fountain out here in a space by Wendy's project she's working on, the fairy trees with a ladder and gourds hanging up for the birds. Back by the barn, we have next to the barn her herb garden with stumps that have been hollowed out, or actually by Mother Nature, and she's planting herbs in there. And we also have a tribute to her dad, Ed Mater, who passed away a couple years ago. And then we have our cheap greenhouse that we start our plants in. It is nothing more than about 2 cattle panels with plastic hung over them. It did very well this year. This is our newest addition to the family. We have 8 bobwhite quails that we're planning on raising and getting eggs from, and then have quail meat and or quail eggs to eat and sell. Back here we have our rabbits. We have anywhere from 40 to 50 does with 6 bucks. That keeps us in rabbit meat and fur. I take and once we have butchered the rabbits, I tan the hides and are for future projects, which I don't know what they are right now, but something to think about. And this is Pinky. Pinky had babies on April the 8th. And let's see, get a shot of the baby rabbits. She has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 babies in there with 1 runt. She had 6 and 1 of them passed away. And this is the Mr. Runt. He's only about half the size of the rest of them. So you can put him back in there to and within the next 3 or 4 days we have several more does that is supposed to have babies. This is the world's famous chicken coop that Miss Wendy built out of pallets and old tin here. The door was something that we found back in the back of the barn, and we have a total of about actually $0 in it because all the projects, everything was used from leftover projects from Marine Corps. And as you can see, we have several hens that is on the nest right now producing eggs. And this is the outside of the chicken coop. With all the different chickens we have here. This was the original chicken house I started with. I made 4, but they have we're going to switch that over to the quail house and move it out away from the chicken pen. And then next to the chickens, hopefully to keep the varmints and stuff away, is our dogs. That is JJ, and Blondie and Ruby over there. Miss Blondie and JJ are sisters. There's a few months old, and Miss Ruby is Australian or red heeler that came out of our male Taz we used to have. He went to a different life. This is a picture from the backyard looking toward the house. And you can see there's both our beehives. This is a picture of our cathedral beehive I made. It's in an earlier video when Wendy was putting the bees into it. That has been 4 to 5 days ago, and you can see they are very active, and there's a can of sugar water down there. And I was into it yesterday and got the queen cage out, and she has been released into the hive. So they are making comb and getting ready to produce brood, which in turn are baby bees, and then they start creating honey.